All right, today we're going to look at changing some tasks, project tasks, and making sure that the price is right for those tasks in CRM. We got in front of us a list of things that have changes required. You can see the corrections over here in yellow, and it says on this time entry to change the code to 1020 and add a price of $250 per hour. So what we have to work with is a date, the account name, the project name, the resource or employee, and the rest of the information about it. So what we need to do first is find the time entry that we're going to change. So we're going to go over to CRM, and we're going to open an advanced find window. In advanced find, we're going to say what we're going to look for. What we're looking for is a time entry. So I'm going to scroll down the list and select time entries. And I need to specify some criteria to find the time entry. First thing I'll do is look at the date, and I'll say the date is on 2/8, and it defaults to this year, so 2/8/23. The next thing I'll do is specify the project. So I'll say the project equals a Red Hawk pad, and spelled wrong, Red Hawk pad. Okay, and I could further specify the task or the resource, but actually the project task probably makes the most sense here. So I'll say the project task, and I want to say begins with, and I'll say 3020. The other thing I want to do is say sales order does not contain data. This prevents you from seeing things that are posted. You can't change them, they're done, so you don't need to have them in the way. So we've specified that we're looking for time entry with the date of February 8th on the Project Red Hawk pad where the task begins with 3020 and there's no sales order data. Hit results and there's your entry. So this is the item that we want to change from 3020 to 1020. So to do that, you double click the time entry, you open it up, you get the details, you highlight project tasks, and you'll see 3020. I press the delete key, get this error message. This is common, happens every time, so ignore it. Change it to 1020, hit tab, hit save and close, and more messages happen all the time. All you do is ignore. And went away from the advanced find view because it no longer met the criteria, so I can go back here and I can hit 1020 now. And there it is. Now the only problem remaining is that it has no revenue, so we need to add that $250 an hour price to this. So to do that, we need to change the price list. So to change the price list, first we open the price list. So I'm going to hit the project. The project, you see the price list down here on the left, Pedevco. I'm going to click the price list, opens up the price list window. Click price list items. You'll see all the items on the price list for this project. And you're going to click add new price list item. So the product is what needs to be specified. So the product is not the same as the project task, and here's how you can determine what the product is. I'm going to click back on the advanced find window, or the time entry, anything would work, and you're going to click on the project task. That's going to open up the project task window. Again, error messages, don't worry about them. You'll see a default service listed. You're going to click on that. That's going to open up the alert status service window. That's going to have the service rate field, frac engineering. Going to click on that. In the service rate, you'll see a labor product, senior engineer, space hyphen space frac. That is the product that you need. So, senior engineer frac. Now I can close all this stuff. I can get back to my price list window, and I'm going to add a new price list item. I'm going to specify the product, senior engineer, and I can stop there and fill in the rest and click on senior engineer frac. Select the unit of measure. This is an hour, could be a day, right? But it's always an hour. And the amount is $250 per. You get that data in there, save and close, and now the price list is updated. We can close the price list window. Now we're back at the advanced find window looking at the same entry that we were looking at before. We can click run workflow, and we can select the relive time entry workflow. Click add, It's confirming the application. Do you really want to run this? You say yes, click OK, and the workflow's been run. And it runs in the background. It takes a few seconds. You can click the refresh button over here, and you'll see that the value's been updated. Total revenue is now $500, and that is the end of that. In the previous 5-minute video, we walked through making a change to a time entry to correct the project task and the price list. In this video, we're going to get through the rest of this list, and it's going to be a little bit quicker because we're going to take advantage of the fact that these are on the same project. So what we're going to do is we're going to update the pricing and the project task for the remainder, not quite the remainder, but at least the remainder of these 30/20 tasks. They all have the same instructions, which are to change the code to 1020 and make sure the price is right. So we've updated the price and the price list, so that piece is done. We don't have to worry about that. So we're going to, though, select these time entries. So to do that, we're going to go back to Advanced Find. We're going to select time entries, just like before. And last time we selected the date. This time we're not going to really care too much about the date. We're going to go straight for the project task. And we're going to say the project task begins with 30/20. This is the bad project task, so these are the ones we want to change. We're going to definitely do the sales order does not contain data selection criteria because we can't change ones that do have a sales order and they just clutter up the view. And we're going to select the project. The project is all the same, so it's really, really nice. Makes it a lot easier. So I'm going to go down to project and say the project equals Red Hawk Pad. So this is going to show you all of the time entries, 30/20, that aren't in a sales order and are on the Red Hawk Pad. So we've got 6 of them, and that ties out pretty identically to this list. So these are, in fact, the ones we need to change to $250 an hour and to project code 1020. Okay, so this is the results. We have the 6 entries left to change from 30/20 to 10/20. You'd think that thered be a way to highlight them all and change them all at once, right? But you see the edit button is dimmed out, and that is due to the fact that Alert Stratus didn't build this compliant with the rules, and it's not doable. So I am going to have to open each record one at a time, change them from 30/20 to 10/20 one at a time, save and close, ignore the error. It'll disappear from this view as soon as it saves because it no longer meets the criteria. So we cruise through this, delete, change to 1020, save and close, ignore the error. That you don't always get, but okay. 20, I will likely edit this out of the video, but for now I'm going to leave it in. So we see if we come up with anything unique. Almost there. A lot of error messages all the time. They're JavaScript related error messages. There's really not much we can do about them. This is the last one left to change. Close. Okay, good. So we've changed all of the remaining 30/20s to 10/20. So what we could do now is we can go back and we could change this to project task begins with 10/20. And we'll see the ones we just changed plus the one that we changed a bit ago. So we have 7 results showing, 2 of which didn't pick up the price. And the reason for that is Alert Stratus. So you never know when it's going to work. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So you have to keep your eye on this stuff. So I can select those 2 records. I can run a workflow against multiple records, but I can't edit multiple records. You can actually, in fact, edit multiple records, just not time entries because of the way Alert Stratus created the time entry entity in CRM. So I'm going to relive those 2 time entries. And like I said, it takes a couple seconds, so we can refresh. Not yet. Refresh again. Not yet. Okay. And there are also times where it just doesn't work. So, and this looks like one of those times. So we can go back into this and I can delete the 1020. You can change it back to 3020. It doesn't have to be changed back to 3020, but it just has to be changed. So now again, it was removed from my view. So I'm going to change them both back to 3020. So now both those records have been changed back to 3020. I can go back to my advanced find view. I can change this again to 3020. So I want to look at them. Rerun this, and there are the two. So I can open them up again, change them again from 3020 to 1020. And the error messages, you'd like to think that they're related to the reason it didn't update, but it's neither here nor there. Okay, I'm changing them to 1020 again. Change the advanced find view again, get rid of 3020, go back to 1020. And notice that time we got one of them, but not both of them. So we go into the last one that's remaining. We'll do the same thing again. Change it to 3020. Save and close. Go back here, change this so we can see it again. There it is again. You can change it to 1020. Save and close. Go back to my properties, change the selection criteria again to 1020. And look at that, they all now have pricing. So that is a classic example of how messed up CRM is and how it very unreliably works. So you got to keep an eye on every change you make, and as you can imagine, it's probably pretty easy to miss these once in a while. But that was accomplishing the task of changing the pricing on these items in this list. All right, we're on to the third segment of this video, and we're going to just round out these corrections that have been requested, which are these remaining two items on this list, and they are to move this time to Red Hawk pad. So these two time entries that exist somewhere else, in this case they're on Weld County Development. So just like last time, we're going to open up an advanced find window looking for time entries. In this window, we're going to specify what we can to look at these, and they're both on February the 22nd. They're both Morgan Whitelock, and they're both on Weld County Development. So what I'm going to do is go to time entries. I'm going to select date. I'm going to specify that the date is 2/22/23. I am going to specify the project as Weld County Development, and I'm going to specify that the resource is Morgan. I have to go to the related timesheet, and then I have to select on the timesheet resource, because the resource is not part of the time entry, and Morgan Whitelock. Look at my results, and there are the two. So all I need to do is open these up. The account is Pedevco. The project needs to change from Weld County to Red Hawk Pad, so I'm going to delete the project. And when I delete the project, you're going to notice that also the project task goes away. So I'm going to type in Red Hawk Pad, and for project task I need to redo the 3030. Oh, and it doesn't tab quite right, so Red Hawk Pad tab 3030. And we got the error message. So this is nice. 3030 doesn't exist on Red Hawk Pad, so we can just kind of click right here and open up that project. Doesn't want to open for me. All right, well, I'm going to click back here. I'm going to go to CRM proper, and I'm going to go to Project Management, Projects, and I'm going to find Red Hawk Pad. Now it should have worked me clicking on the record in the time entry, but it's CRM and sometimes that stuff works and sometimes it doesn't. Now that I'm here on Red Hawk Pad, I can inspect the project tasks and I can see, yep, in fact, 3030 does not exist on this project, so I need to add it. It's pretty simple. Click Add Task. This window comes up, not without an error message. Click 3030, hit Tab, Petroleum Engineer, save and close, error message again, and it lands you at a window that I don't quite understand why, but let's close it out. And now you'll see that 3030 is in fact on the project. So I can now click back on the time entry that I was working on before. That stopped me because 3030 wasn't on it. I can go down to Project Task, clear it out again, type in 3030, and now that it's there, it reads it and everything is okay. Save and close, ignore the error message, and it disappeared from view, but that's to be expected because it doesn't match the criteria any longer. Take the single remaining item to change, remove Weld County Development, type in Red Hawk Pad, Project Task 3030, and we only have to add it once, so now it'll work. And save and close, get the error messages, ignore and save, and they're gone. So I can flip back in my advanced find and change the project from Weld County Development here to Red Hawk Pad, and I should see those two entries. And there they are. And they had pricing information. The price list contained Morgan's pricing. So that completes the changes that are requested in this entire list, and that's that.